Hey, what's up? What's up, man? This Big Jack. I'm on here, and it's very rare that I'm on here. It's no show set up for today. I just really came on today because I was feeling my heart was a little heavy over all the things that's been going on. The young man from the Cowboys who unalived himself um, today. Well, it's speculated that he did, so we're not even sure if he did or not, but it's speculated that he did. Um, but it's bothering me because there's so many people out there who sometimes feel that they're by themselves. They feel that they're alone, that no one cares, and I just wanted to put it out there today, put it out into the universe that someone does care about you. I care about you. And I know I have a team of people who really care about you and your feelings and what's going on in your life. I'm really it's really bothering me that a young man at 24 years old, um, who's I played football in my life. So those who don't know me, never knew or didn't know, I played a little bit in my life, and the level that this person was at is the level that we all want to get to. When I was playing, this is the level that we wanted to get to. We wanted to be at that level, and to be it there, to get there, and to be young, and then to feel that there's no hope, that there's nothing you can do. See my man Anthony, my time's out there. What's up, my time? So it just bothers me that we can get to a point in our life that we give up, that we get to a point in our life that we have no more hope, that we have so much pressure on us to be great and to do the right thing. That when things are not going right. And I don't know this kid's story. I really don't know this kid's story. I'm just only reading, what was printed, and I'm seeing it on social media. But it's sad, and it's sad that anyone feels or gets to the point in their life that they feel that they can't go on, that they can't make it. And I'm just out here, and I wanted to let you know that we do care about you. Mental health, and I see my times out there, and he's saying mental health is real important. It really is important that you seek help and get help. It's really important that if someone's talking to you and even mentioning that they're thinking about hurting themselves or anything like that, that you listen to what they got to say, because sometimes they are calling out and they just don't know who to call to. So I wanted to put it out there today that there is a hotline number. There's a number, 988. Save it in your phone. Put it in your contacts. So if you ever feel that no one else is listening, and I'm on my own and no one cares, that you can at least figure out or find out that someone does care for you. We're here at the Iron Sharpening Iron universe, with all the spin-offs that we do and all the different things that we talk about on the regular, with the Gentleman's Journal and the Iron Sharpening Iron show and the Ladies Diary and all the other shows that we have, the spin-offs. I want to let you know that there's a place, and we're talking these topics because we want people to get the help that they need. And I really, really want to talk to the men, because we are the most stubborn people in the world. We will not seek help. We will not go get help. We think that we can handle it all on our own, and we're not going to get anybody or let anybody know, because it makes us look soft. It makes us look weak. You're not weak because you got help. That's probably one of the strongest things a man can do, is to say, hey, I need help, and get the help. So whatever or whoever put that myth out there that you're weak because you're seeking help, that's the biggest lie ever told. And I'm trying to tell you right now, and I'm telling you man to man right now, and I'm probably one of the most stubborn men and hard-headed men out there, and would be that same person that said I'm not going to go get help, but you need the help. Raising, what's going on, man? How you doing, sir? I'm glad that people are coming in and listening, and I want to just put it out there because it was on my heart, and it really hurt me to read the story. And I was watching the game. I think the Broncos were playing the Raiders, and I was like, man, this guy got all the way to the NFL. He got to the ultimate level for the game that he's been playing almost all his life, and then something happens. I mean, he just crossed the line. I mean, he had a touchdown last week. So, I mean, that's like in his position to get an actual touchdown is huge. And then for him to, whatever reason, feel that he needed to unalive himself, it's like, wow. And I see you raising saying it right there. Perfect subject, as I'm one who suffered. PTSD is real. I mean, PTSD is real, and it has nothing. It don't have to have anything to do with the military. It is real. If you've been through anything, just the letters themselves, is telling you that there was a post traumatic, you know, post traumatic. It's something that happened to me. There's a disorder that I'm going through. It's an actual issue that I'm having, that I need help. And I'm trying to tell you right now that it is nothing wrong with seeking help. If you find yourself in that position, if you find yourself needing someone to talk to and no one else is around, pick up your phone and call 988. You can even text them. Text 988. They're 24/7. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, someone's around waiting to answer that phone and answer your call for help. And it hurts my heart because I can only imagine what his family is going through right now. I remember being on the field. I remember playing, and some of the closest people I've ever been with in my life was the players I played with. So I can only imagine what that locker room is like. I can only imagine that they had to call everybody back into the locker room and back to their workout facilities and have counseling and all for those players because you've been with this person day in and day out in the mix of everything, and then they're not here. And it's like, man, if I would only listen to what he was saying, if I was only paying attention when he was talking, um, maybe I could have helped him. Now, I'm not using this as a way to get clicks and likes and views and all that, and I don't. It was just while I'm watching the game, I'm sitting here like, they're going to do a moment of silence, and they did, and they're going to talk about it a little bit, but then the game's going to still be played. And it's like, man, you can get the help you need because that kid's life is over. He will not be at Thanksgiving dinner this year. He will not be at Christmas this year. And the thing that bothered me the most, and I'm sitting there thinking about it, I'm like, uh, those holidays are coming up. And the way things are going right now, a lot of people are really on the edge trying to figure out how they're going to provide the meal for tomorrow. Not even saying a meal for the holidays. They're still trying to get through how they're going to provide a meal for tomorrow. And it's like, man, that really sucks. That sucks in life that you have to go through that. And it's like, man, so I see Raising Fishy out there, and I think it's Scotty. It says, as a man, we tend to try to bury it all. But because my wife was like, after years of dealing with my problem, she tells me I need help. And finally I broke and went. And look, Scotty, I'm gonna say, man, I am so grateful. And I really don't even know you. I'm telling you that now. And I'm sure just by Fishy, you had it came from one of the fishing communities, and I'm glad that you're here. But that right there is a testimony that needs to be shared on one of my stages. So, and not putting you out there, but if you're willing to come and tell people about that, I'm willing to have you on one of my stages because that needs to be told that you broke down and you went and got the help that you needed. I mean, so many of us will not break down. So many of us will not go and get the help. And that's something. That's the iron that I need. That's the iron that other men out there need to know that it's okay to go get the help. And it doesn't end because you went one time. It's a fight. It's a struggle. It's a grind. I mean, you have to really, say, "Hey, I'm gonna push and push hard." Um, I'm glad, and you say you went to VA for mental health, so I'm gonna say thank you for your service because the only way that you got to VA is because you was a one-time service member, or a current service member. But thank you for your service as well. But PTSD is real. Mental illness is real. Stress and guilt and the pressures of just being, the main provider or a provider, especially when things might not go right. And then it's like if you make a mistake or if you do something wrong, just the disappointment that you might have on your family, and you're thinking everybody's going to be disappointed. But those are times that you need to reach out. Those are times that you need to talk to somebody. Those are times that you need to say, hey, check it out. I'm in a jam and I'm all messed up and I need some help. And it's okay. It's okay to need help. It's okay to need someone to talk to. It's okay to get yourself, in a class or in a group or one on one. It's okay. I remember talking to my kid, and he didn't want to go to tutoring, because tutoring is for kids no, tutoring is for the ones who know they need the help, and it's help that's being provided. And I'm not saying that PTSD and mental illness and all is like going to tutoring, but it's like that stigmatization or that mindset of thinking that I don't need the help, or that is for the weak or whatever. No, it's an offer, it's a service that's being offered to you, and you should take it and use it, and because it's going to help you. Don't think that I can do this thing on my own, or I can grind through it and I'm gonna be okay, because it's real. It is a real illness. It's a real disease, and it can really, really, really take you out. It can get you, and I'm here to let you know that you're not alone. That there are people in my group, and if even if they don't want to help you, I would help you. I will talk with you. I'd rather talk with you than talk about you, 100%. And Raisin said down there, it's a daily thing to deal with. And as a man, we're trained to be tough and suck it up. But I found it's okay to cry and be vulnerable and seek help. 100%. 100%. It's okay. You know, the biggest lie ever told is that a man doesn't hurt. Men hurt. So I'm letting you know out there, especially those young men who think they got to be tough or whatever. Look, dude, you need help, and men hurt, men cry, men feel. We have our times, and it's okay. It's nothing weak about having to cry. There's nothing weak about feeling, hurt when something bad happens. If I lose a loved one, I feel for that. I feel for that loved one. I feel the pain. If I kick my or stump my toe, I feel that. I have no pain. "Oh, no, suck it up." No, no. It's okay. It is okay. And we do. We've been conditioned. We've been trained. We've been told that we have to, be tough. Trust me, I've been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. Raisin, you might not know it, but I'm a veteran. I've been on the battlefield. I know where you got to be tough. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie and say I wasn't afraid when I was out there. I'm not going to lie that I wasn't, and I won't say I'm shaking in my boots afraid. I was concerned. I was thinking, you got to keep your mind clear. You don't want to get caught up. But at the same time, it's like, man, you know what I'm saying? You're seeing your buddies and all. We got to make sure this mission is complete, right? Because we all want to go home. We all want to go home. So that's something that's in the back of your mind. I had at that time my wife and kids and all of that stuff. So I'm like, hey, this is not just me hanging out. This is real. Hello, Cal. How you doing? This really, it's not a show today. So those who know me, Big Jack Story Time, and we do the Iron Sharpening Iron show. and we do all the different, the spinoffs from the Iron Sharpening Iron universe. But today, my heart was just hurting. It really was, and it's not hurting because, uh, you know, um, it's just a young man from the Cowboys, and basically unalived himself from what we know. And I'm not gonna even speculate and say I know all the answers because I don't. But based off of what they have already put out, that he unalived himself today, and it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. And those who don't know him or even haven't heard the story is Marshawn Nealon from the Dallas Cowboys. So today he was unalive. So, but it's good to see everybody that's out there. He said, Kyle said, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Just working on some video editing at the moment. Everything is going quite well, and I'm doing well. I am doing well, but my thing is, I wanted to get the note out and get the message out to everybody that there's someone out there that cares about you, that you're not in this thing by yourself. So when you feel that you're all alone, you feel that no one cares, and you're in a between a rock and a hard place. Sometimes a lot of people think we're between a rock and a hard place. Just know that there's a number out there, and if you don't know the number, if you don't know the number, and I'm gonna make sure I put it on the ticker below because I need to make sure it gets there. But the number is 988. So 988 is the number. You can text the number, you can call the number, and there's people there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days. And this year was 366, but they're there for you. They're there for you. And then there's a whole social media world out there. We have uh, all kinds of communities out here. So whatever you're into, you're going to find a community here in the YouTube world that you can talk to somebody, and that's going to help you. So just think, there's help out there for you. You just need to put yourself in a position to get the help. And he said, yeah, iron sharpens iron is very biblical, a big help for me in my faith in Christ and serving in my local church and my fish hobby. I find solace in this play. Yeah, 100%. And that was part of it. As iron sharpening iron. We help each other. So that's the motto of my show. We are stronger together, and that if each one could reach one, we can all grow and glow. So that's what I live by. That's what the motto is. That's what the universe is all about. But at the same time, so many times we talk to people and we laugh and joke because we're on social media, we're content creators. Kyle saying he's out there now editing and things like that. But with all that being said, do we listen? And if we're listening, are we hearing what the people are saying? Because sometimes people are really crying out to us, and we're so busy really with views and likes and hit that thumbnail, hit that like button, leave a comment and all of that other stuff, that we forget to hear what the people are saying. And sometimes they're crying for help. And I'm not sure. I don't know Marshawn Nealon. I never, other than seeing him play, and I was excited for him because he had just scored his first touchdown. And you're thinking, man, in that position, your career is getting ready to blow up, and now his career is over. And it's not because he got injured on the field, not because they cut him from the team, but based off of the news and what's going on, he unalived himself. Now, I do not know that to be true. I just know that mental illness, PTSD, stress, and all that stuff is real. And that a lot of people every day. I mean, if I pull the stats up, if I Google the stats and see how many people, take their own lives, unalive themselves, it's amazing and it's crazy. And it's like, what is going on, and why or how do you get to that point that you feel that there's nothing else that you can do? And I'm letting you know, everyone that's watching this and everybody that knows me, that you're not alone, that there's someone out there that does care about you and that we're willing to talk with you and we're willing to walk you through the steps. And if nothing else, willing to give you the phone number. And if I have to dial it myself so you can talk to somebody, I would do that for you because I'd rather talk to you than talk about you. And that's 100%. That's about as real as I could be with this. It's super, super sad that a 24-year-old, um, I don't care if he was 24, 54, 94, get to the point in their life that they feel that they can't go on. To me, that's sad. And I know I'm not alone with that. I know life has definitely changed for his family, and my condolences to them. Life has definitely changed to his friends, and my condolences to them. That things are not going to be the same. It's not. Sometimes you can accept death because that is part of life. I mean, the day that you're born, you're already starting the death cycle. I mean, I'm a believer of that. But when a person unalive themselves, it makes it really, really tough to work through that because it's like, man, how did I miss? Because a lot of people, the ones who are left behind, they're the ones trying to figure out how did they miss the signals? How did they miss what was going on? Did he say something? Did he do something? Did I miss it? And that's really tough. It's really tough. So it's sad. It really is sad that this happened. And I know it's nothing you can do about it. I know it's nothing you can say about it. Other than there's help. 988 is the phone number. There's people out here that you can talk to. I'm looking now, and even in the chat, there's people who are coming in, and they care enough to even stay and drop a couple of notes and comments. It says very unfortunate what happened to Marshawn. Yes, and being a Texan, so if you're from Texas, yeah, because he was homegrown, and that's even harder. I remember when I was in high school, and I was at a track meet, and it wasn't a person that unalived themselves, but I'm at a track meet in high school. And I want to say I was probably my junior year. I can't remember if it had to be about my junior year. And we're in an indoor track meet, so it's around the winter time, indoor track meet. And I'm out of Maryland, so I'm in the state of Maryland, and they make an announcement, and they're like, "We want to, take a moment of silence because we were on the University of Maryland inside the indoor track facility at Maryland University." And they asked everyone to take a moment of silence, and they made the announcement that Len Bias had passed. And I mean, it was like so devastating because all of us that was out there at that time, and he was from the same county I was from, and he went to a university in the same state where my county was, and he made it. For those who don't know him, you need to look him up. But he made it and had got drafted by the Boston Celtics, and it was so devastating when we got the news that day at the track meet that he was no longer around, because he was that beacon for a lot of us that we, coming out of a school system and out of a county where, especially being African American, a lot of us didn't know if we was going to get out. A lot of us didn't know if we was going to make it. And this is back in the early 80s or mid 80s, 80, 87, 86, 87 years. And it was wild. So I can only imagine those who grew up watching him and the kids that's watching him and seeing him go through high school, seeing him go through college, and then getting picked up by a team. And, and then he's there for 2 seasons, having a decent year and score his first touchdown, first NFL touchdown. And then not even a week later, we're talking about him. And that's hard. I mean, it really is hard. It's hard to wrap your finger around it. It's hard to wrap, anything around that, because it's like, how did we miss it? So because of that, I was watching the game today, and I'm like, this kid, 24. I got sons that's older than him, and he's a kid. But whatever was going on in his life, whatever was going on in his mind, he felt, based off of what I'm reading, because I don't know the story. No one knows the story. We can only speculate what was going on. But I do know, being a man, that there's a lot of pressure being a man. There's a lot of pressure. Like, even if you make a mistake, and you just the guilt alone, that you feel that no one's going to forgive you. No one's going to be able to get past this. But I'm telling you, men, listen, listen, listen. That's the biggest lie ever told. That's the enemy playing tricks on your mind, trying to tell you that you're not going to be able to survive, or you're not going to be able to make it through this. I don't care what you did in your life. I don't care what you did. There is nothing that you have done or can do that can't be forgiven or forgotten. But when you find yourself in a situation that you think, okay, uh, I can't be around anymore, call for help. Call for help. And this is way outside of my wheelhouse. Yeah, I mean, meaning, I talk all day. We have shows, but this one was on my heart. This was on my mind, and I didn't want to push this off. I was like, okay, I can wait till Sunday, and I can wait till the end of the month, and this and that. But I'm like, somebody's going to be listening to this today, and somebody's going to need that number today. And today, I want you to know that 988 is the number. 988. You can text it. You can call it. It's anonymous. No one even have to know who you are. But get the help that you need. Get the help that you need. It's so important. It's so important. I see Boss B is out there. Hello, Boss B. Thank you. And look, and you're off. Boss B, you're off. I was no way trying to get or put anybody to work. It was just on my mind. And I'm watching the game, and I'm like, I'm sitting in front of this computer, and like I say, dude, hit the button and go and tell somebody that we love you. Listen, and you heard me say it. We love you. We care about you. And as I said, I do the shows. I'd rather talk to you than talk about you. 100%. And that's everybody that's out there. Everybody. One of my shows, I had a young man on the show. And I say young man because I'm, over 50 plus. And I had a young man on the show, and he was telling us about, he was in a situation, and he put the barrel of a pew pew between his eyes, and he pulled the trigger. And I was like, wow. Because I've had a lot of interviews, and I've interviewed a lot of people, but I've never talked to anybody who actually pulled the trigger. And it was amazing that now we're able to talk, because he did survive, of course, because we're talking to him. But he's now blind in both eyes, and he was partially deaf in one ear, and his life had totally changed. But we was asking him, because it's an interview, why? What was the reason? What was so bad that you felt that you didn't want to be around anymore? And he actually thought that was a good question that we was asking him. But the thing is, it was needed. And if you go back, and I'm not promoting watching the videos and this and that, but if you go back and look at that interview and listen to what that young man had to say, you'll be totally like amazed at one, his strength and his honesty and him being open about his experience and how, now he's out reaching out trying to help others that was in his situation. But we don't have to pull the trigger. There's help. Get it. Make sure you get it. Make sure that you go out there and you say, hey, check it out. um, I need help. And if you're afraid to go by yourself, then reach out to me. Email me. So that's bigjackstorytimeguests@gmail.com. And if nothing else, I promise you, and I'm a human like everybody else. So I got my limitations, and I'm stubborn, and I'm hard headed, and I'm like a bull. It takes a lot to get me moving too. So I understand, but I would hope that someone would be saying these same words to me if I was in that situation. So if you can't call that 988 by yourself, then reach out to me, and I will call it for you and with you. I can promise you that. Because again, I would rather talk to you than talk about you. And this is unfortunate that we're talking about this young man. I mean, we were talking about him anyway because he just scored his first touchdown and, da 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 da. And I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I'm a fan of the NFL. And I like good players. I like watching good football. I like watching good sports. I like watching real athletes. I like seeing people make it and being able to live their dream. Because if they're anything like I was, that was the dream to get to that level. And now it's over. It's like, wow. But it doesn't have to be I'm a football player. It doesn't have to be I'm in the NFL or whatever. I remember being in eighth grade, and I was in eighth grade, and we all was talking about going to high school and what we're going to do when we get to high school and all that other stuff. And one of the young men in our classroom was like, well, I'm not going. And we laughed and joked with him and like, yeah, whatever, da da da. We'll see you next year. And he said, no, you won't. And we're like, what's up with you, yo? I mean, because that's not real talk for us, because we're in eighth grade. I didn't know what to think about that. But over the summer, he was right. He didn't make it. And I'm like, man, he was telling us, but we wasn't listening. And if we were listening, we wasn't hearing. And that why it bothers me so much now, because I was in that situation. I had a person tell me and I wasn't listening. I don't know about Nealon's family. I don't know about Nealon's friends, his teammates, I don't know any of them personally. But I'm hoping that, well, it's really too late to say it now, but if he did tell somebody, that you didn't just blow it off. If he did try to cry or call out, that he didn't just act like, you're suck it up, like Raisin say, you're a man, you need to suck it up, get tough. That's some bad smoke and mirrors. The worst advice you can give a person is suck it up and be tough. Let me tell you again, men cry, men hurt, men feel pain, men feel pressure, men feel stress. And sometimes men feel there's nowhere else to go. I'm between a rock and a hard place. And what I'm going to do. And it's sad because we feel like we just a big disappointment to our family, to our children. And that's sad. It really is sad. And all this stuff we can forgive this. If you need help, call for help, ask for help. We're there. Hey, Joy, how you doing? And thank you for popping in and hanging with us. But you can get help. You can get help. It'll be okay. But so many times we think that it's not going to be okay. I'm in a world of hurt and I'm all by myself and nobody cares. But I'm telling you, mental health, mental illness, PTSD, stress, guilt, disappointment, shame, all of those things are real. And they all can cause people to find themselves in a situation where they have nowhere to turn. And it's sad that we can get there, but we can get there. And we just looking around now, and I'm like, man, people not being able to buy food and all these other things that's going on. But this wasn't that situation for this young man. So I don't know what it was for him. And we're talking about Marshawn Nealon, but I don't know what it was for him. But it wasn't because he didn't get a snap card. It wasn't because of this and that. It just wasn't. So whatever it was is just trying to show you and prove to you that mental illness is real. You know, you would think this kid's on a high. He just scored the first NFL touchdown. He got thousands and thousands. We're talking at least 60, 70,000 people cheering his name. And now 60, 70,000 people are at awe or more. We're talking millions and millions and millions of people at awe because he's no longer around. And it's crazy to me. It really is. And it's like, you know, in Thursday night football is on. The Raiders are playing the Broncos, and the game will keep going on. On that team that he plays for, they're going to get back on the field. And they might put his number on their helmets. And they might take a moment of silence in the stadium. But somebody's going to fill his spot on the field. Somebody's going to take his spot on the depth chart. Somebody might get moved up and now take his locker because the game will keep going on. So that's the game. But your life is not a game. The situations and stuff that you're going through is not a game. And you need to really, really reach out and get the help you need. Raisins say probably the hardest thing is truly understanding when a person says things that they're really calling out for help. 100%. We really need to have a caring heart for others and aware of those signs. And that's 100%. And thank you, Raisin. We need to have a caring heart. We need to listen. And it's not all about what about me. At that moment, it's what about them or what about him. If he was calling out again, because I don't know the story, but I do know there are a lot of people who are calling out. And a lot of times we're listening, but we're not hearing what they're saying. So if you hear it, like you know, they tell you when you're in the airport, for those who flown in the last decade, if you see something, say something. Well, that's what I'm saying right here. If you see something, say something. You know, if you see that person struggling, you see that person walking off, if you know that person is always full of joy and happy and bouncy, and then all of a sudden they're, you know, to themselves or whatever, it's okay to go up and say, hey, what's up, bruh? What's up, sis? What's going on? How are you doing? And stand by long enough to say or listen to what they have to say back. So many times we ask how you doing and just keep it walking. And if that person made a comment, you know, I'm feeling bad. What do you say? Oh, yeah, have a good day. Because we're not listening to them. We're not hearing what they're saying. Very sad. Very sad. So, didn't come on here for all this. Well, I did. Yes, I did. I really came on here today because this is outside of my schedules to say there's a number. It's 988. 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There's somebody there to answer that call. There's somebody there to help you. There's a universe that we're building right now called the Iron Sharpening Iron Universe on YouTube. Send us an email. Put a note in one of our comments. And I promise you 100%, I will do whatever I can in my power to help you, to reach out to you, to talk to you. And if nothing else, to dial that number for you. You have a promise from me. 100%. If you're out there and you're listening to this and you have a story you want to share, I have a stage for you to share your story. You don't know how many people will be helped by your testimony. That will be helped because you're telling us what happened. Don't be afraid. Don't be too proud. It's not a weak man that asks for help. That's one of the strongest things you could ever do is ask for help. So I thank you all for coming in and hanging with me for this little bit of time. And I'm going to get up out of here. But I thank you all again. And no, that number is 988. 988. The Marshawn Nealon family and friends, my condolences to you. Cowboy Nation, my condolences to you because you lost a good player. And I know it's hard for you all out there that's dealing with this, trying to figure out what happened. But at the same time, let's see if we can stop anyone else or help anyone who needs the help. So this is me, and I'm gonna go ahead and close this out because, like I say, it's way outside the schedule. This wasn't again. It was just on my heart, and I feel much better now that I got it off. But this subject is real, and raising fishes Scotty out there. I have a spot for you if you ever want to get up on the show and share your story, because just in a little bit you put in the chat, I can already see that you got a amazing testimony, and I would love to put you on the stage that you could share it. So let's make sure we make contact with each other. 100%. 100%. I would love to have you on the Iron Sharpening Iron show or the Gentleman's Journal, because I know your story is going to help so many people. So let's make sure we get it out there if you're willing to share it. Boss B, I see you out there, and thank you for coming in and supporting. Joy, Joseph, and everybody else has been hanging out with us. Thank you. That's not what it was here. We wasn't here for this. But at the same time, I just want to say thank you. And the number is 988. 988. So until next time, like I say with all my shows now, stay sharp, and we'll be talking to you later. God bless you all. Have a good night. And pass and share this message with someone else so that they too can know that we care. All right. So until next time, we'll talk to you. Peace.